ladies, gents, and my non-binary friends. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And let's get into it. I'm painting an undead bronze dragon. And currently you are seeing me work on its base, which I believe is some sort of abandoned temple. So, anyways, let's get into the lore. I want to start by saying that I got all of the information off the Forgotten Realms wiki. There is no zombie dragon in 5th edition, so I'm actually using 3rd edition information. That's a bit weird. Seluna? This had been on my desk so long. And she's got one brain cell. I love her, but not the brightest void in the bunch. Such a sweetheart, though. I mean, kill the mini.
Fatality.
Alright, back to it here. Yeah, I got it all from the Forgotten Realms wiki. And I like to note that you can probably find some homebrew material for 5th edition if you'd like, but I didn't want to use someone else's homebrew for my video. So I'm gonna stick to 3rd edition, even though I've never played 3rd edition other than just a little bit in high school, and I don't think I really knew what I was doing. So it's a bronze dragon zombie. So I'm going to start by talking about bronze dragons. Something that has shown up in a recent game, and actually, oh hi Seluna! She helped a lot with this model. And actually inspired this. I'll leave some specifics of that out, just in case you somehow haven't played the game yet. So, bronze dragons do exist in 5th edition. I'm going to use 5th edition for that. For this information, because I like 5th edition. So, bronze dragons, like blue dragons, like to live near water, and they have a lightning breath weapon. They are curious and inquisitive, possessing a strong sense of justice, and they don't tolerate any form of cruelty. Unlike most other dragons, they truly enjoy observing and interacting with smaller creatures, most especially humans. They often go out of their way to help them, such as rescuing humans from a shipwreck or a dangerous foe. In many of these instances, the bronze dragon would actually transform itself into a human so that those whom it helped never really knew who did the rescuing. Ansur is a great example of a bronze dragon interacting with humans. He befriended the explorer or sailor, Balderun, and ended up founding Baldur's Gate with him. Since then, he became known as the Guardian of the Gate, and he dwells beneath the city should the city ever have need of him. And if they need him, they can awaken him. So bronze dragons, they live in coastal regions of the world, which is why I'm going to be making this mini's base a beach, and also because I really wanted to make a water base, because it's fun and pretty, and I need to work on that skill. I'm not sure why this information is included in D&D lore, but I had to learn about it, so you do too. Bronze dragons, as with some other dragon breeds, are unable to chew their food. Hence, to aid digestion, they swallow small stones, pieces of metal, and even coins, which go into a small second stomach, like a bird's gizzard, these stomach stones ground down their food and are eventually expelled as waste. So the more you know. Congratulations. You now know that these giant, magnificent creatures have gizzards. Okay, now let's move on to the zombie dragon and some 3rd edition insanity. So zombie dragons resemble Draco liches, with the main difference being that the eyes of zombie dragons are clouded and milky, like that of a blind person. And they lack the sinister glowing eyes. Zombie dragons have 0 intelligence. They are essentially golems. And their sizes, colors, and strength vary greatly depending on what corpse was used to create them. So this zombie's dragon is made of an adult bronze dragon, which is why it has these head spikies and that spine, which you can see there is kind of rotting. It's not a perfect representation of a bronze dragon, but I thought it was close enough, and I like it quite a lot. Rot is a common condition for these dragons, as it is for normal zombies and many other undead. Their flesh hangs off their bones, and they stink of death and decay. Their wondrous hides... Oh, she's helping again. I don't know why I get excited every time she pops up on the screen. I just spent hours editing this together. Anyways, as I was saying, their wondrous hides are eaten through by worms and carrion eaters, meaning they often have very few scales left, as you can see here. I'll be painting... what's this? She says. I'm gonna block the camera. You're welcome. I'll be painting these scales a nice bronze, and then applying a beautiful patina, because this is old and rotting, and bronze gets a kind of a greenish blue tone after it's aged. Anyways, like other types of undead, zombified dragons are immune to mind-affecting abilities and spells. They're immune to poison, sleep, paralysis, stun, and both natural and magical diseases. Though, I feel like you should be able to inflict some sort of sped-up rotting disease, which could reduce the armor class or strength of the zombie. I mean, rotting is, after all, caused by microbes, mushrooms, and bugs that consume the rotting flesh, all of which could be considered diseases. So, I mean, especially since we already know they're afflicted by rot. You can see this guy's got skin literally falling off his neck. Why shouldn't you be able to accelerate it? After all, a zombie would not have a functioning immune system to defend itself against such afflictions. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Zombie dragons can't be affected by life force and experience drain, or be damaged by critical attacks, which is something I didn't really know existed, and I'm pretty sure is not a thing in 5th edition. Anyways, zombie dragons are known for their physical toughness, likely due to the immunity to critical attacks, and they have a damage reduction. Despite this toughness, they are vulnerable to holy water and an especially powerful turning performed by a cleric or paladin. Protection from evil is completely useless against them because they are true neutral and simply obey their creators, much like a golem. The creation of a zombie dragon may be an evil act, but without any form of intelligence, they can't really express or experience willful acts of either evil or good of their own volition. So, I mean, you can't really call a machine evil when it doesn't have its own will, right? That's what these are. Anyway, they retain their elemental immunity and a weakened form of their breath weapons. So we can add the elemental immunity of lightning to this one, onto its already large pile of undead immunities. Even in their undead form, zombie dragons possess supremely keen senses, allowing them to detect hidden and invisible creatures within 50 feet of themselves, and have senses similar to clairvoyance, with a 100-foot range, but only in its lair. As a result of this, they make great guards and are often used as such. Now, they can't vocalize when there's an intruder, but you will definitely hear the snaps of lightning and the screams of dying people, which is probably just as good as any other alarm. And that would allow the creator to prepare for a fight or flee, whatever. Or, in the case of Dracoliches, the bodies of zombie dragons can actually be used to house their essence, as long as its phylactery is nearby, meaning that it's kind of like a bonus life, bonus body, because it can also transform the body of the zombie dragon into that of its original form. The ecology of zombie dragons, yes, this is in the lore, they are unnatural undead things and have no place in the natural order. They don't need to eat or sleep, and the only creatures that willingly tolerate their presence are carrion eaters, who can often be found in the vicinity of zombie dragons, feasting on chunks of rotten flesh that have fallen. The creation of all undead dragons is a taxing task that requires coin and magical prowess. In order to raise a zombie dragon, the caster needs to have access to the Animate Dead spell and a mostly intact dragon corpse with all of its limbs attached. Creatures like wyverns and drakes can't be raised as zombie dragons because they are, of course, not true dragons. Unlike other types of undead dragons, the only component necessary for transformation of the dragon into a zombie dragon is the dragon's corpse. Often, young and small dragons are used because you want your larger dragon to be turned into a Dracolich or something of a similar level of power. But if there is a larger zombie dragon, it's likely a failed attempt at making a Dracolich. The ritual requires quite a bit of time, and the caster needs to prepare the body to be animated via recalled spirit. Unlike with other, more powerful undead creations, if the caster fails the ritual, they can attempt to raise the zombie again once they have the new components for the Animate Dead spell. I don't know why 3rd edition considers this to be a less powerful undead creation. It kind of makes me scared, but we'll just continue on to what is probably a much more powerful undead creation. Vampiric dragons. They can actually make zombie dragons. Generally, when a vampiric dragon bites and drains the blood from another dragon, if that dragon is a full-grown adult or older, it can be turned into a vampiric dragon spawn or another true vampire, assuming they allow the spawn to consume the blood of the original dragon that turned them. But if they try to turn a dragon that is young, then it will actually just turn into a zombie dragon. Separately, vampiric dragons? We need to get those into 5th edition. Can you imagine? You know, you're walking in the woods. Your phone is dead. And then, walking out, you see, it's Strahd. Holy shit, I've pooped myself. But wait, he's turned into a fucking dragon. I just dropped dead of fear right there. I mean, why do we need to take vampires, something objectively terrifying and powerful? There's a whole freaking dope-ass campaign and source book just around it, and make it even more terrifying. I don't understand, but I want it to exist in 5th edition. Also, what else can be vampirified? Like, can we get vampire giants or a vampire aboleth? I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to the history. Sages speculate that zombie dragons, along with other lesser undead dragons, I don't know what those are, they didn't specify, were a creation of the cult of the dragon in a quest to create the ultimate undead dragon, a Dracolich. Although I still think that a vampire dragon is much cooler. Many believe the cult used a traditional trial and error method that resulted in several types of undead dragons before discovering an ancient draconic text, which led to the creation of Dracoliches. Elminster believes that there are other undiscovered ancient texts that detail other powerful types of draconic undead, much more prolific and dangerous than the simple zombie dragons. Samaster, an immensely powerful human mage and a former chosen of Mystra, is known for founding the cult of the dragon and discovering the process which turns a dragon into a Dracolich. He claimed to have personally perfected the rituals that created the zombie dragons and skeleton dragons, and he detailed both rituals in the Tome of the Dragon. There was only one notable zombie dragon, and that is, bear with me here on the pronunciation, Larhauseth, a young adult red dragon, also known as Flashfire, was brought to unlife by the cult of the dragon. Okay, now I have no personal experience fighting against a zombie dragon, partially because they don't exist in 5th edition, which is the only one I play. But I think that if they did exist in 5th edition, an encounter might go like this. Your DM has you searching out an old temple dedicated to dragons, similar to what I imagine this rubble is involved in. And you're searching for a magic weapon you need to defeat your big bad. The temple is located on a beach, and as you're walking along this beautiful beach, you have the nice gentle sea breeze coming off the ocean. Smells a little bit like salt, a little bit like fish, but it's beautiful. And then you start to notice a stench in the air, the smell of rot, as if you're approaching a buzzard's nest, which I don't know if any of you guys have ever done that. It is the worst smell. The stench becomes stronger and stronger as you approach the temple in the distance, and suddenly you hear a low rumble as something enormous shifts in the distance. As you approach, a flock of birds swarms out of the temple, and yet more rumbling and some crashes emit from within the temple. Now, as you stand in front of the temple, the stench now is almost overpowering, and out of nowhere, a huge crash. Sand flies in every direction, and before you stands an enormous dragon. But this dragon, it isn't gleaming in the light like usual. Dragon scales, even non-metallic ones, have a really nice reflective quality. No, this one is rotting. Bits of flesh fall off of it even as you stand there. And before you have time to react, it shoots a line of lightning straight through your party. The sound of thunder booms through the air, nearly deafening you. Roll initiative. Anyways, I want to take a moment to talk about how much fun I had painting this miniature. I think I went a little bit overboard with the patina. I should have put in more bronze to shine through, just so you can really tell what the original miniature was, and also to add a bit more variation, because the green-blue of the patina is a little bit too similar, I think, to the rotted flesh of the dragon. But I really do enjoy painting undead. As you can tell, I have 2 videos in a row where I did it. There's something about it, it's less stressful, because with undead, if you make some errors, you can just cover it up with some gore, some blood, and an undead skin doesn't need to be, perfectly uniform. It's gonna be blotchy. Parts of it have rotted more than others. With that in mind, I actually think that painting on undead might be a great first miniature. If any of you are considering getting into the hobby that aren't already, maybe go out and find a few zombies. It's difficult to not make them look undead. I mean, so much of a zombie is up to interpretation. They don't have to be, green rotting flesh. They could be like that flesh golem I painted, a little bit more fresh, but still kind of grungy. They could be red with blood or really pale. They could just be, pale skin over what is mostly just bare red bloody flesh. It's all up to you, and I don't think there's a way you could do it wrong. Like with Bob Ross, when you're painting on undead, anything you do, quote, wrong can just be a happy accident, or it can just be covered up by a bit of gore. It's all up to you. Like on a Bob Ross painting, just slap a mountain or a tree over it. Anyways, I want to take a quick moment just to say that I am so proud of this water base. I think it looks fantastic. This is the best one I've ever done, and I think I really captured the movement of the ocean and highlighted the whitecaps really well. I think it's about time to close out this video. So, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you're still here, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye!